Infernape is criminally underrated. How did one of the most iconic fire type starters end up all the way down in the never used tier? How's it going, guys? My name is Just Weavile and welcome to my channel where we showcase the hidden potential of every Pokemon, no matter where they rank on the tier list. In today's video, we're putting the spotlight on the Generation 4 fire starter Infernape. With its powerful firefighting dual typing and the ability Iron Fist, which boosts the power of punching moves, Infernape can become a serious offensive threat. And yes, we're running Punching Glove, and yes, it does stack with Iron Fist. This set includes Stab Fire Punch for reliable damage, Thunder Punch to deal with water types, Mach Punch for priority with Stab, and the cherry on top, Swords Dance, boosting Infernape's attack by 2 stages and turning it into a late game sweeper. Are you looking for a community of like-minded Pokemon fans to battle, trade, and hang out with? Be sure to join the Pokemon Battle Hub Discord server. Link is in the description and it's completely free and open to everyone. Today I've got 2 battles to showcase Infernape's potential. One against Chris, where it really gets to show off, and another intense back and forth match against Fornabil from the Discord. Let's jump into the first game and see what Infernape can do. Alright, Chris has brought a pretty cool looking team. The Baxcalibur is obviously a big threat. Don't underestimate Snorlax. But it looks like Infernape could have a good time here. It outspeeds the Charizard with a Thunder Punch. That Great Tusk is the main problem that we're going to face, but we should be all right, I think, looking at their squad. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead off with I'm thinking Lantern, and then we'll just kind of go from there. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun. Chris, they're going to lead off with Great Tusk, which is a really good lead on their behalf. I know I'm a water type, but I'm also electric type, and Earthquake will hurt quite a bit. So unfortunately, first turn, what I'm going to have to do, and I know you all hate it when I do this, but I'm going to have to switch out. And there's the booster energy as well, which is going to boost their what? Speed? Attack was heightened. So even though we have an unaware Clefable, it's still going to take a bit more damage than we would have liked, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So I've got a couple of options. I could go Braviary, be immune to the Earthquake, because they might go for a Stealth Rock anyway. I think I will go Braviary here just to get the immunity to the Earthquake. They actually withdraw. Okay, so obviously I could have Terrored there, so I can see why they withdraw. And they're going to go into Magnezone, which is a very good switch here. We obviously went back into our Braviary, which is in a bit of a type disadvantage here, but we can just go back into Lantern if we want to. Now, this thing's definitely not going to be sturdy. I am a Life Orb Sheer Force set, so I have no doubt in my mind Heat Wave will KO here. It's just a matter of whether I outspeed or not. I think I do outspeed, so I'm going to go for a Heat Wave, say screw it. There's the Heat Wave. Should KO the Magnezone. Does KO the Magnezone. And we're 1 down. 5 more to go, which is great for us. Absolutely great, in fact. We also made them use up that booster energy on the Great Tusk, which is fantastic. It means Clefable's more of a viable answer to it if we need it to. All right, in comes Baxcalibur. This thing is a bit of a problem. It definitely outspeeds us, that's for sure. I don't want it to go for a Dragon Dance, though, so I'm going to have to be careful. I can't Will-O-Wisp it with Sableye. Got to remember that. So I think I'm going to have to go Clefable here, just because of the unaware. So if they Dragon Dance, I'm not too worried. And they can't Glaive Rush me. All they can really do is Icicle Crash or Icicle Spear if they're loaded dice. They go for a nice Shard though. That's going to bounce right off us. No problems there. And now I can go for a Stealth Rock, which is going to be really useful for the rest of their team. All right, they withdraw Baxcalibur. Obviously, it's a type disadvantage for them. They can't really do much to us. And they're going to go into whatever that is, which is going to be the Snorlax. Very interesting choice. So we go for a Stealth Rock now. Now we know what this Snorlax wants to do here. It usually goes for like a Curse or something like that. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be great. I want to go Infernape and get Swords Dance up, but I really can't. I think my best bet is to go into Sableye here, just for the immunity to Body Slam. So if they do Curse, let's just hope they have Crunch. But usually the rest Sleep Talk with Body Slam and Curse if they are a Curse set. So Sableye really doesn't have to worry here. They go for a Body Slam, which is great. We're obviously immune to that. No problems there. Looking at the squad, I would say Will-O-Wisp is a good play, but they could easily go Baxcalibur. So I think I'm going to go for a knockoff here. Knowing this Snorlax can't really do much to us unless it's Play Rough. They do withdraw. Are they going to go Baxcalibur expecting the Willow? Maybe. Athena. The Azumarill. So we're going to get rid of his item, which is great. It's nice and shiny as well, which is good to know. We're going to get a nice knockoff off, which is great. I wonder what item they are. If the Citrus Berry, we know they're Belladrum. Leftovers. So they're probably not Belladrum. I'm going to use this opportunity to go for a Will-O-Wisp, since this thing is obviously a threat. So Will-O-Wisp is going to come through like so, which is fantastic. Nice and burn on the Azumarill. And this is a great opportunity for us to get in our Infernape. So they go for a Play Rough, which is going to do about half to us, which is still really good damage considering they're burned. I mean, if they didn't know they were leftovers already, I'd say they were choice band. But no, we're not physically defensive. We are especially defensive Sableye, so not too worried. I'm so glad I got Sableye finally. It took ages to find a prankster one, you know. Right, so what's my options here? I think I'm going to go Lantern, just because I know I can live a hit no problem. And I can threaten this thing out of a Volt Switch, potentially. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to Edison now. The Lantern. They go for another player if they do miss, so that's even better for us. That is even better for us. And obviously the burn's going to whittle away. The leftovers makes... well, they don't have leftover anymore, obviously, because we knocked it off. But right, so I'm thinking Hydro Pump, predicting the Great Tusk, or Volt Switch, just to go in. I think we go Volt Switch because, yeah, Volt Switch comes through, which is great. It's going to take out the Azumarill, no problems, which is fantastic. So it looks like Infernape could come back now that the Azumarill's gone. It's just that Great Tusk, which we need to worry about. So what I'm going to do here is, knowing that they got to kind of go into that, I'm going to go into... I'm going to go into Cyclizar, get on the field a little bit. Excite Bike over here. Thanks, chat. For the nickname. And in comes Baxcalibur, which is fine by me. So I'm not too worried about Baxcalibur here. It can go for his Ice Shard. It won't KO us. I can just go for a U-turn. I do want to knock off his item, though. Could be very useful. I think I will knock off the item because it looks like they haven't got hazards. So Cyclizar's not doing too much for us. Also, I didn't go for a Draco Meteor there because I was kind of expecting them to Terra. But they go for an Icicle Crash. And that's going to take out Cyclizar. But at least we got rid of its AV, which is great. So now I'm thinking, hey... let's go into Infernape. This is a good opportunity because it should force a switch here. They're not going to want to take close combat unless they're Terra. So looking at the rest of the squad, I would say their best bet is the Great Tusk here. We are Terra Electric, so it doesn't really help us against the Great Tusk. I think I might just go for a Mach Punch and get the KO on this thing. Hopefully he gets the KO on this thing. Right, they withdraw the Baxcalibur. Fair enough. They don't want to get hit by close combat. Great Tusk has got to be it, right? Yeah, Great Tusk comes in. At least we get a bit of chip on this thing. A bit of chip can go a long way. So if we go ahead and go Mach Punch, nice little bit of chip. They're not Rocky Helmet. Obviously, they were booster energy at the start. I'm going to try and block a Rapid Spin here with Sableye. I think that's the way to go forward because I want the Stealth Rocks up because they were hitting that Baxcalibur big time. So I definitely want the Stealth Rocks up. So we're going to Gizmo. They do go for a Rapid Spin, which is obviously going to fail. And now I'm leaning towards going for a Will-O-Wisp, but they might, now that they've seen Will-O-Wisp already on the Azumarill, they might go back Excalibur to get that Thermal Exchange boost in attack, which I'm not super duper. I'm going to go for a Recover. They did actually stay in, which is interesting. So let's see how what kind of attack they're going to go for against my Sableye. I mean, looking at we're knockoff. Okay, that's fine. It does half, which is pretty terrifying damage. And now I'm going to go for that Will-O-Wisp. There we go. We do hit the Will-O-Wisp, which is fantastic. So with the Will-O-Wisp connected, we're looking pretty good, to say the least. So knockoff's going to come through. It's obviously not going to do any damage now that we don't have an item. And we're basically whittling away at this Great Tusk, which is fantastic. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to stay in and go for a Recover first and foremost. Sableye's kind of putting in the work, not going to lie. Sableye is kind of putting in the work, not gonna lie. I just repeat myself for no reason. They gave for another knockoff. So I think they've kind of gave up on the Great Tusk idea, which is fine by me. I'm not too worried about that. I don't want to get knocked off here. That's for sure on anything really. Especially the Infernape with that Punching Glove. And yes, Punching Glove and Iron Fist do stack. Shut up, I'm not arguing about it. Right, Great Tusk needs to go. I think we go Clefable here. We're going to get knocked off, but it's fine. I'm not really worried about knockoff. And this tells me they may not even have Earthquake. They might have Close Combat instead. With like Rapid Spin, and they do have Earthquake. Okay, that's fine. It's going to do no damage. But unfortunately for them, we're going to do some nice damage here with a Moonblast. So I'm going to go for the Moonblast. They go for the Rapid Spin though. That is going to get rid of the Stealth Rocks. I guess they could have seen that coming, but I'm not too bothered about the Stealth Rocks going as much as I am getting rid of the Great Tusk. So they've got 3 Pokemon left after this. And I'm wondering if we've got a good opportunity to actually set up with the Infernape. That'd be nice. All right, Charizard comes in. That's a decent one. Pretty good opportunity for us. They could Belly Drum here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a Thunder Wave first and foremost. I really don't care if Clefable goes down here. They go for the Air Slash. That's fine. It could flinch us. Doesn't flinch us. We go for that Thunder Wave, which is fantastic. So there we go. So now with Charizard paralyzed, I feel a bit more confident going into something else. So if we assume they're going to switch up moves and go for a Fire type move here, I could let Tinkerbell go down. and get some damage on this thing. It could be Focus Sash for all I know, so I may as well get Moonblast damage off. Could also lower its special attack as well, which would be great. Ideal. Special attack goes down. They go for the Air Slash. It's not going to KO us, which is great. And I'm going to let Clefable go down here so that I can get Infernape in, and then we can Terra Electric Swords Dance, which would be fantastic. So they couldn't move because they were paralyzed. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm going to Moonblast again. I don't see any reason not to. Moonblast comes through. Hopefully they can KO us here. That'd be ideal. There we go. Flamethrower, that's fine. So Flamethrower is going to take out Clefable. I'm not bothered about this at all, because now I think Infernape wins us the game. I'm pretty sure Infernape wins us the game. So we're going to give Infernape now. Bardock's going to come in. I love Infernape so much. Such a good Pokemon. We're going to Terra Electric. We're going to Swords Dance, pretty much. So there's the Terra Electric. They haven't Terra'd yet as well, which is what worries me a bit. The lack of Terra on their side worries me. So either way, I'm Terra Electric. So if they go for an Air Slash here, which they would do, it's not going to do nearly enough damage, especially after the special attack drops from Moonblast. So we get that Swords Dance off for free, which is fantastic. And hopefully we're going to be able to utilize all our moves. There's the Air Slash. It's fine. No damage. None at all. Now I can Thunder Punch to get rid of this Charizard. Fire Punch the Great Tusk, and then Mach Punch the Baxcalibur, which is fantastic. But Infernape definitely came through for us this game with a late game sweep. I can't really say anything bad about my opponent in this game, which is great. Not that I'd say anything bad, it'd be more like criticism based on the plays they made. But it is what it is. Right, Baxcalibur comes in, that's great for them. I feel like they're going to Terra here into a Terra Fairy to take the Mach Punch, so I'm going to go for a Fire Punch because it should KO anyway. If they don't Terra, and it also covers my back if they do Terra. They didn't Terra, so Fire Punch is going to take out the Baxcalibur, unfortunately for them. Down it goes, which is fantastic. And in comes their final Pokemon, which I believe is Great Tusk. Oh no, they've got Snorlax left. Oh, this is a good tester. So Mach Punch won't do as much as Thunder Punch, I don't think. So I'm going to go for a Thunder Punch here. They did Terra themselves, so what are they going to Terra into? If they Terra Fairy, they could ruin everything. I can't believe I forgot about the Snorlax. The Terra Normal. So this Body Slam that's coming our way is definitely going to sting. Now, I don't have Close Combat. I have Mach Punch as my Fighting Stab. And I'm pretty sure Thunder Punch does a bit more because of the Terra and all that wonderful stuff. So, oh, it nearly gets the KO. Very nearly gets the KO. Now, luckily, if we live this, we won't get paralyzed. We do live. No paralysis. Mach Punch is going to come through. Oh, yeah, it was Snorlax they had left, not Great Tusk. Mach Punch is going to come through. We get to utilize all the moves. And we have a little late game cleanup from the Infernape, which is fantastic. So that's going to be GG. So thanks for the game, man. Appreciate it. GG. All right, Fono has brought a pretty cool team with the Hisuian Samurott for lead, says Caesar's Edge Spikes, I'm guessing. I got to watch out for that Sinistcha because they are horrible to deal with for me. But Infernape looks like it'll put in some work. You know, after Swords Dance, Mach Punch will definitely KO that Floatzel. Obviously, Paragon Zed's just equally as in trouble. Thunder Punch to take care of the Moltres, Fire Punch for the Sinistcha. Although, actually, no, we're probably better off going for Thunder Punch if it Terras. Mach Punch takes out the Samurott, and then the Raging Bolt is just something we'll have to deal with Lantern, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and assume they're going to lead off with Samurott, and I'm going to lead off with my Clefable. This way we can scare it out with a Moonblast, but we could also get off a Stealth Rock if we need to. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Forno. So they're going to lead off with the Adjutant, the nice and shiny Hisuian Samurott, as I led off with the Clefable. So this is happening exactly as I anticipated, which is great. So we've got a couple of options. Looking at their team, I would say they would have to switch out here. So I could go for Moonblast. I'm going to go for that Stealth Rock, though. They do go for the Caesar's Edge. They're obviously Focus Sash if that's the case, because they know they can take a Moonblast, but not anymore because the Rocky Helmet has come in great for us there. So the spikes are up, which is unfortunate. But we do get those rocks up, which is going to be really beneficial to us, especially if that Moltres isn't Heavy Duty Boots, which I'm sure it is. I also noticed they don't have a Hazard Clearer, so I'm pretty happy with that play. Moonblast can come through after the Ceaseless Edge. We do obviously eat it up. Rocky Helmet is going to come into effect, which doesn't make much sense because it uses a sword to do it. So I don't know why Rocky Helmet would affect that, but it's whatever. We go for Moonblast. Should take out the Samurott. It does take out the Samurott. We are good to go. So they did get their 2 layers of spikes up, but they obviously didn't think Samurott was going to be super useful this game, which is fair enough. Moria is going to come in, which is going to be the Sinistcha. So this thing is a pain. What I'm going to do is I'm going to Thunder Wave it right off the bat. They do Calm Mind straight away, which is very unfortunate for us. I have no way to phase this thing either. All I can really do is go into Sableye and knock off. So I'm going to Thunder Wave. It doesn't work. Oh, it avoided. I was going to say, has it got an ability I didn't know about? So what we're going to do instead is, I'm going to go into Sableye. First and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and knock off this thing. Knock off feels like the best place to go for, so that's what I'm going to do. We're going to bring Gizmo in now. And what we could do is we could potentially scare them out of a taunt, because they go for a Calm Mind here. Now, Machigotcha shouldn't KO. We should be completely fine, unless it burns us. Sinister is always one of them Pokemon that you just kind of don't want to deal with. And I wish I would have hit that paralysis so that it could potentially get fully paralyzed on Infernape, but it is what it is. Let's go for a knockoff and find out what's going to happen here. All right, they go for a Machigotcha. They probably expected the taunt, to be fair. And that's going to do a lot of damage to us. It doesn't burn us, at least. And we go for that knockoff, which is going to do a nice chunk of damage to them. So we knock off their heavy-duty boots, which is fantastic. Stealth Rocks are up after all. And what we need to do is pretty much... we just have to go for a Shadow Sneak here to get some damage off. I don't mind Sableye going down here, so Shadow Sneak comes through. It's going to do a little bit more chip, which is great. They go for that Machigotcha, which does restore their health, but not by very much when we're so low. So Gizmo, you did a good job here. You've kind of saved us against this Sinister in a sense. So Gizmo goes down. Now, if I go into Infernape here, they are definitely going to Strength Sap, which is fine. I don't mind that too much. They also could Terra. So what I'm going to do is, just so I'm resistant to Machigotcha still, I'm going to Swords Dance in its face. They do Terra, which is fantastic. Now, they normally Terra Poison, which is what I'm expecting. So if we can get a Swords Dance off and then a Thunder Punch, they are Terra Poison, which is great to know. Great to know. Sinister is one of them Pokemon where it's really hard to deal with. So we go for this SD real quick. Hopefully they go for a Strength Sap. We'd still be at +1 at least. And they do go for the Strength Sap, which is unfortunate. I wish I had Taunt on that Sableye. I might change it after I've used this team. I might add Taunt to it instead of Shadow Sneak, but who knows. All right, so we're at +1. We're going to Terra. We're going to Thunder Punch. It could Paralyze. We're looking pretty good right now. And the thing is, even if they Strength Sap again, we'll still be at neutral attack, so I'm not too worried. It's just Lantern can't really do much to it. So Terra Electric comes through, which is great. Terra Electric plus Iron Fist plus Punching Glove on the Thunder Punch, +1 attack, should do enough to nearly KO it. It's a 2-shot, and they go for another Strength Sap. So we're kind of boned against the Sinister, to be honest with you. So that's great. I think Hisuian Braviary can probably finish this thing off with a Psychic. I know they're at +1 special defense, but we should be all right. So I'm going to go into Lushu. They go for that Machigotcha. It's at +1. We should live this. We do live because it's not very effective, obviously. And now I'm going to go for a Psychic. And because they're a Poison type, this should 2-shot them at least, as it nearly 1-shots them, which is fantastic. So they go for that Shadow Ball. That is going to KO us, unfortunately. But now we can just bring in Infernape and get that Thunder Punch off. And we've dealt with the Sinister then, which is fantastic. So getting the damage off on this thing was great. So Infernape can come back in now, all terrestrialized and everything, with its stupid light bulb hat. And all we need to do is go for a Thunder Punch, and that should take this thing out. Thunder Punch comes through. Obviously, it's boosted by Terra, Punching Glove, Iron Fist, all that stuff. And down goes Moria, which is a really cool nickname for a Sinister, I will say. So that's awesome. Let's see what they bring in next. In comes No Priority, which is going to be the Raging Bolt. Now, obviously, we don't have to worry about a certain boosting move, but they could go for a Calm Mind here. I'm going to go straight to Lantern. Lantern can definitely pull this off, I think. It can go for Ice Beam and stuff, so they can't Terra either, so we don't have to worry about Terra Fairy or anything. So, and since we're an Electric type on Infernape, Thunderclap won't do too much damage. So they do go for a Draco Meteor and they miss. We can take a Draco Meteor thanks to the Assault Vest. I'm going to go for a... What's the best play to go here? Are we to go into... I think the best thing to do is to Volt Switch, just in case they switch. They do go for the Draco, which is going to lower their special attack. We definitely live that, barely, which tells me they might be Choice Specs, to be honest with you. Oh no, the Life Orb. Okay, so Life Orb's fine. That explains the damage. Raging Bolt is such a hard hitter. But now that they've got a -2 special attack, I'm not as worried about them as I was before. So now I can freely go into Clefable if I want to, Moonblast this thing. Or I can go into Cyclozar and rapid spin away those spikes, because those spikes are whittling us down. I think I will do that. I think I will go into Excite Bite real quick. Go for the rapid spin. And see if we live a Draco Meteor. I don't think we do. Let's go for the rapid spin, though. Rapid spin goes through, but they do withdraw. Okay, so they're withdrawing the Raging Bolts. What are they going to go into? Ho-Oh's Fave as the Moltres. So they're going to get that nice... Oh, it's a pressure one. Okay. No Flame Body. That's interesting. So rapid spin comes through. It's going to do a bit of damage. Nothing too drastic. We get rid of the spikes, though, which is fantastic for us. And now I'm going to go for a U-turn into good old Lantern in the back there. Get a bit more chip damage. Granted, very minuscule chip damage. And Lantern should be able to take 2 hits from this thing. Should. So let's go into Lantern now. It's Assault Vest. It can definitely take... It can take 1 at least. They actually go for a Rain Dance, which is really interesting. So I'm guessing Hurricane is coming my way right now. They might stay in and try and risk it. I'm going to go for that Volt Switch real quick. So Hurricane comes through. We might live. We might not. We do live, which is fantastic. And I go for that Volt Switch, which is going to be really good for us. So there we go. So what's great about this current situation is that I can freely go into my Infernape now. I know I live a Hurricane. And their Fire type move is going to be reduced in power by the rain. So I'm pretty confident I can go for a Swords Dance here and kind of finish this thing off. So Swords Dance comes through. They did stay in. They may go for a U-turn. They were probably just letting Moltres go down here, to be fair. Oh, they went for the Will-O-Wisp. Oh, clever. Clever play. Very clever play. Now, I am still confident that Infernape can still take out the Floatzel with a Thunder Punch, but we need the rain to go first. Mach Punch, I'm not so sure on. But I'm going to go for that Thunder Punch now, just to take out the Moltres. And we get another KO with Infernape, even though it's burned, which is fantastic. So, with Moltres down for the count, they can literally sweep through my entire team right now. But I'm at +2. Mach Punch has some power behind it, but not much. So I have to be careful with the Floatzel that might come in now. Marine Le Pen. That is a nice and shiny Floatzel right there. Stealth Rocks do dig in, which is fantastic. And as long as we can do enough damage with Mach Punch, Recoil should take them out. Maybe not against Infernape, but against another mon. So I'm going to go for a Mach Punch now. Hopefully they don't go for an Aqua Jet. Mach Punch comes through. It's still... Oh, that's a good amount of damage with a critical hit. And they go for a Flip Turn, which is going to KO the Infernape, telling me they probably are Choice Banded. If I had to guess. Probably Choice Banded. Now, do we have any more priority on the team? I don't think we do have any more priority on the team. I think Sableye's dead. They probably go Raging Bolt here, actually. Corrupt comes in. That is going to be the Porygon Z, because I named my Porygon to that. Only because Forno told me to. I didn't realize he also used it. So anyway, what we're going to do here, I'm leaning towards the Cyclozar. I'm going to drop a Draco on this thing. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's a threat. You know? So the rain's gone, which is fantastic. I think I'm going to go for a Draco. So we do have speed, so they're not Choice Scarf, which is good to know. Draco doesn't quite get the KO. And they go for an Agility, which is terrifying. Very terrifying indeed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a Lantern Switch. So we withdraw Excite Bike. And I'm not confident I could live an Ice Beam there, which is why I switched out. They weren't download. They're more than likely adaptability, so stuff to worry about there. So they go for an Ice Beam, which does KO us, I believe. Yep, there we go. So Lantern goes down, but we've got the Clefable in the back, which I know can take a hit from this thing. I'm pretty confident it can take at least 1 hit. The Life Orb. Very good to know. Floatzel's left. We might win this with Cyclozar. We might win this with Cyclozar, because if they KO Clefable here, which I'm going to Moonlight, if they KO Clefable here, they get Life Orb chip. So if we can live here and get a Moonlight off, we don't, because it was a crit. I don't know whether the crit mattered or not. I'm not going to do the damage calc, because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's not an official rank game or anything like that. But the Life Orb takes out the Porygon Z. That is the key part here. So they have Floatzel. They have a Raging Bolt. I've got a Draco Meteor for Raging Bolt. And I've got a knockoff for the Floatzel, which is great. And it looks like they are heavy-duty boots, not banded, like I thought they were. Oh, no, their stones do dig in now. Okay, that's fine. So they're not boots. They're probably banded in the rain, which the rain is no longer here, so we should have speed here. So knockoff comes through. And it all came down to Cyclozar in the end. Infernape still did really well, so I'm going to include this as the final battle for the Infernape video. But, you know, This was definitely a decent game. I really enjoyed this one. So no priority comes in. That is the Raging Bolt. And after Stealth Rocks, we should definitely KO with Draco Meteor, provided we can hit it. So I'm going to try it. If we miss, then we lose. If they miss as well, then we get another chance. But let's see how it goes. Draco Meteor comes through. This should KO the Raging Bolt, no problem. There we go. And that was a nice close game. Not too long either, which is always nice. So good. GG Forno. That was a really fun one. I did enjoy that thoroughly.